Imagine this. Two people retire on the very same day. They're the same age, worked the same number of years, even saved about the same amount. But 5 years later, one is traveling the world, sleeping peacefully at night, and living life with a quiet confidence. The other, he's watching every expense, worrying about market crashes, and wondering if his money will last. What separates them isn't luck, or even discipline. It's something far more powerful, a pension. Because when you have a pension, retirement doesn't just look different, it feels different. It changes how you make decisions, how you spend, how you think about time, and even how you see the future. In this video, we're going to uncover why having a pension completely transforms your retirement. Not just financially, but psychologically and emotionally. You'll see how it changes your risk, your freedom, and your ability to actually enjoy the years you've worked so hard for. We'll explore what makes pensions such a rare and valuable asset, why they create a sense of peace that no investment portfolio can truly match, and, if you don't have one, how to build your own version of it, so you can retire with the same level of security and confidence. By the end of this video, you'll understand the one thing that separates retirees who worry about money from those who never have to think about it again. This is the truth about retirement, and how it completely changes when you have a pension. There was a time when retirement meant certainty. You worked for decades, your company promised you a pension, and when you stopped working, that monthly check appeared every month for the rest of your life. No stress about stock markets. No sleepless nights over inflation. Just a steady, predictable income you could live on with dignity. But that world is disappearing. Today, most workers, especially in the private sector, will never see a pension. Instead, they're told to save on their own, to invest in 401(k)s, IRAs, or private funds, hoping that by the time they're 65, they'll have enough. But enough is a moving target. Markets crash. Inflation eats away at savings. People live longer. And that once stable idea of retirement starts to feel like a gamble. If you've ever opened your retirement account and felt that anxiety in your stomach, that uncertainty about whether it will really last, you're not alone. Millions of people feel it too. And that's exactly why this topic matters more than ever. Because a pension isn't just about money, it's about peace of mind. It's the difference between hoping you'll be okay and knowing you will be. Let's take a real example. Picture two retirees, Maria and Robert. Maria worked for a government agency for 35 years. Every month now, she receives a guaranteed pension, enough to cover her expenses comfortably. She doesn't check the markets. She doesn't panic about recessions. Her retirement is steady, predictable, free. Robert, on the other hand, worked for a private company without a pension. He saved diligently, invested carefully, but still, every month he wonders, is this withdrawal too much? Should I cut back? What if there's another downturn? He's technically, financially independent, but not emotionally free. This contrast is why pensions are more than a financial tool, they're an emotional anchor. And here's the truth. Whether you have one or not, understanding how pensions work can change the way you prepare for retirement. It can help you build stability, security, and confidence, even if you're doing it on your own. So as we move deeper into this video, I want you to reflect for a moment. Do you know anyone who retired with a pension? How is their life compared to those who didn't? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories and experiences. Because what we're about to uncover next will show you exactly why pensions redefine what it means to be truly prepared for retirement. Before we can understand why pensions change everything, we have to understand what they really are. Because most people have heard the word pension, but few actually know how powerful and rare it's become. At its core, a pension is a promise. It's a guarantee from your employer that when you retire, you'll receive a steady income for the rest of your life. Not based on how well you invested, not dependent on stock market returns, but on your years of service and your salary. It's called a defined benefit plan because the benefit is defined and predictable. Think about that for a second. Guaranteed income every single month, no matter what happens in the economy. That's what makes pensions so transformative. They eliminate one of the biggest fears retirees face, running out of money. Contrast that with what most people have today, a 401(k) or a private savings account. These are defined contribution plans, meaning you define what you contribute, but there's no guarantee of what you'll get out. The risk is on you. The burden is on you. You're the worker, the investor, and the risk manager, all at once. That's like building your own bridge to retirement, but with no blueprint and no safety net underneath. Let's look at a real-world example. Suppose two workers earn the same income for 30 years. Sarah has a pension that pays her 60% of her final salary for life. David doesn't. He invests in mutual funds, bonds, and ETFs. Over time, markets fluctuate. David's portfolio grows and shrinks, and when he finally retires, he must decide how much to withdraw each year, a decision that keeps him up at night. Sarah, on the other hand, doesn't have to decide anything. Her check just arrives, like clockwork. She knows exactly what's coming in. She plans her life around it. She lives with confidence. This is the foundation of what makes pensions so powerful. They transform uncertainty into stability. But even if you don't have one, the principle behind it can still guide your financial life. Here's how. Create predictable income streams through dividends, rental income, or annuities that pay consistently. Prioritize stability over speculation. Build systems that work automatically, not investments that keep you guessing. Think in terms of monthly income, not just net worth. You can't spend your net worth, but you can live off steady income. When you start thinking this way, you shift from chasing numbers to building security. That's the mindset of someone who doesn't just retire, but stays retired. And that's why understanding pensions is so important. They're not just financial products, they're blueprints for peace of mind. If this idea makes sense to you, give this video a like. It helps the message reach more people who need to hear this truth. Because in the next part, we'll explore how this steady, predictable income doesn't just change your finances. It changes you. Here's something most people don't realize. A pension doesn't just change your money, it changes your mind. It rewires how you think about retirement, risk, and even life itself. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that no matter what the stock market does, no matter how the economy swings, your basic living expenses are already covered. That's what having a pension feels like. It's the kind of freedom most retirees can only dream about. Let's look at two examples. First, meet Tom. He retired at 65 without a pension. His investments are solid, but the market drops 20% in the first year. Suddenly, every decision feels loaded. Should he skip vacations? Delay medical procedures? Sell a portion of his portfolio? Anxiety becomes a constant companion, even when he's technically, financially independent. Now meet Linda. She retired the same day as Tom, but she has a pension that covers her essential expenses. The market falls, and it barely touches her life. She can pursue hobbies, travel, volunteer, or even start a small business without the constant pressure of wondering if she's spending too much. She's free, mentally and emotionally. This is why pensions are more than numbers on a statement. They give you psychological security, the kind that allows you to take calculated risks, pursue passions, and enjoy life fully. And there's a lesson here. Even if you don't have a pension, you can mimic this mindset. Build income streams that cover your essentials first. Once your base expenses are guaranteed, everything else becomes optional, not stressful. That's how you reclaim freedom. Think about it. How much better would your retirement feel if you never had to check your account before making a small decision? That peace of mind is priceless. If you've ever felt the weight of financial uncertainty, drop a comment below. Share your experience. Knowing that you're not alone is the first step toward building the freedom you deserve. Next, we'll see how this security doesn't just feel good, it fundamentally changes the math of retirement planning. It shifts the rules in your favor, and that's where the real power of pensions shows up. Let's dive into the numbers, because this is where the real magic of pensions becomes clear. A pension doesn't just provide income, it redefines risk. It shifts the entire equation of retirement in your favor. Most retirees without a pension face three major risks. Longevity risk, the fear of outliving your savings. People are living longer than ever, and running out of money is a real concern. Market risk, the ups and downs of stocks, bonds, and investments can wipe out years of careful planning. Inflation risk, even modest increases in prices can erode your purchasing power over time. Now, here's how pensions change everything. A traditional defined benefit pension guarantees income for life. Longevity risk eliminated. Market risk. Mostly gone, your employer and the pension fund manage it. Inflation risk. Some pensions even adjust for cost of living increases. You're essentially insulated from the three biggest financial fears of retirement. Let's look at a real-world scenario. John retires with a pension paying $3,000 per month. His basic expenses are $2,500. That means he has $500 left over every month for discretionary spending, regardless of whether the stock market crashes or inflation rises. He can plan confidently, knowing his foundation is secure. Compare that to Lisa, who retired without a pension. She needs $3,000 per month from her investments. If the market drops 20%, suddenly she's short $600. She may have to cut back, delay retirement, or even return to work. Every financial decision carries stress and uncertainty. This is why pensions aren't just about money, they're financial leverage for peace of mind. They allow you to take risks with your investments because your essentials are already covered. You can grow your wealth without jeopardizing your security. Here's a practical takeaway. Even if you don't have a pension, you can create a mini pension for yourself. Focus on guaranteed income first. Think annuities, dividend-paying stocks, or rental properties. Cover your core expenses with reliable streams. Separate your discretionary funds. Only then invest the rest in higher-risk opportunities. Plan for longevity. Make sure your income can last well into your 80s or 90s. Understanding this principle changes everything. It's not just about how much money you have, it's about how predictable and secure it is. If this makes sense to you, hit the like button. It signals to others that financial security isn't just theory, it's achievable. Next, we'll explore how this security transforms your lifestyle in retirement, in ways most people can only dream of. Here's where the story gets exciting, because pensions don't just change numbers on a page. They change lives. They transform how retirees experience freedom, joy, and purpose every single day. Think about it. When your basic expenses are covered, the weight of financial stress disappears. You can travel without worrying about running out of money. You can pick up hobbies you've always wanted to try. You can even help family or give back to your community, knowing it won't jeopardize your own security. Let's take a concrete example. Michael retired with a strong pension after 35 years in public service. Every month, a reliable income arrives, covering all his essential expenses. With that security, he now spends his mornings volunteering at a local shelter, his afternoons painting landscapes, and takes trips to places he dreamed of visiting for decades. His retirement isn't just comfortable, it's fulfilling. Contrast that with Karen, who retired without a pension. She's careful with every expense, constantly checking her investment accounts, and often postpones travel or leisure activities. Even though she's technically independent, anxiety shadows her every decision. The freedom that Michael enjoys feels out of reach. This is the lifestyle difference a pension creates. Not just stability, but emotional and psychological freedom. You can live fully, pursue your passions, and embrace new experiences without hesitation. Even if you don't have a pension, the principle applies. Build predictable income streams to cover your essentials first. Once that foundation is secure, your discretionary spending becomes a source of joy, not stress. That's when retirement truly becomes life's second act, not a period of caution, but a period of possibility. If this is resonating with you, drop a comment sharing your retirement dreams, or hit subscribe so you don't miss the next strategies on building your own financial freedom. Next, we'll look at the reality for most people today and how to take action if a pension isn't part of your plan. Here's the hard truth. Pensions are becoming increasingly rare. Most private sector workers today will retire without one. Social Security or state pensions might cover part of your needs, but they rarely replace your full lifestyle. So, what do you do if you find yourself in this situation? First, understand that not having a pension doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means you need a plan to replicate its benefits on your own. The goal is the same: predictable, reliable income that covers your essential expenses, giving you the freedom to enjoy your retirement. Let's break it down with a practical example. Consider Alex, 45, who works in tech and has no pension. He knows relying solely on the stock market is risky. So he creates his own retirement system. He invests in dividend-paying stocks that provide steady quarterly income. He owns a rental property that generates monthly cash flow. He sets aside a portion of savings in low-risk bonds to cover emergencies. By combining these streams, Alex essentially builds a personal pension. It doesn't guarantee every cent like a traditional pension, but it reduces uncertainty and gives him a sense of control. He can plan vacations, invest in personal projects, or simply relax without constant anxiety about running out of money. Another key strategy is automation. Just like a pension automatically deposits a check, set up automatic contributions, automatic reinvestments, and even automated withdrawals in retirement. This creates consistency and reduces the mental load of managing money day to day. And finally, focus on your essential expenses first. Cover your rent or mortgage, utilities, food, healthcare, then treat everything else as discretionary. This mindset mirrors the security of a pension. You know the essentials are safe, and everything beyond that is a bonus. The modern reality may not offer pensions to everyone, but by understanding their principles and applying them creatively, you can build your own version, one that gives you both financial and emotional security. If this section is bringing value, take a moment to subscribe, or share in the comments the strategies you're using to create reliable retirement income. Your insights might help others build their own path to freedom. Next, we'll close by looking at the bigger picture and the true definition of retirement security today. As we wrap up, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Retirement is no longer just about saving money. It's about security, freedom, and peace of mind. And nothing illustrates that more clearly than a pension. A pension doesn't just provide income, it provides confidence. It allows you to make choices without fear, to embrace opportunities without hesitation, and to truly enjoy the life you've worked decades to build. It's the difference between merely surviving in retirement and thriving in it. Even if you don't have a traditional pension, the lessons are clear. Build reliable income streams to cover essentials. Protect yourself from longevity, market, and inflation risk as much as possible. Automate your finances so your peace of mind doesn't depend on constant decision-making. Ultimately, retirement is about more than numbers. It's about living life on your terms. Those who understand and apply the principles of pensions, even without having one, can achieve the same security, freedom, and fulfillment that pensions were designed to provide. So, take a moment today to reflect. Are your retirement plans giving you financial certainty or financial anxiety? And if they're leaning towards stress, it's never too late to start building your own version of a pension. If this video gave you insights or inspired you to rethink your retirement strategy, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your journey toward true retirement security starts with knowledge and action. Because in the end, retirement isn't just about money. It's about freedom, peace of mind, and the ability to finally live life on your terms.